Gameplan for Good is the podcast that brings you stories of world shakers and champions of change. Join us as we dive into the journeys of innovative business leaders who are making a positive impact and creating a better world. Uncover their game plans for success, discover groundbreaking innovations, and be inspired to unleash your own potential. Get ready for a brighter future in business with Gameplan for Good. Welcome to our episode number 3 for Gameplan for Good. Very excited to have Ryan Jenkins here. Ryan, how are you doing?
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
You are the CEO and co-founder of the Hype Society.
I am.
Tell me about the Hype Society.
Yeah, the Hype Society is a performance-focused creative brand and strategy agency. Mm-hmm. We work with businesses and marketing teams that have a real thirst for growth or understand that there's some opportunity to reassess their current market position. So we provide them with the support, the resources, the plan and the strategy to help take their business from where they are now to where they want to go into the predefined future. Yeah.
Very cool. I want to talk to you about brand because I went onto your website the other day and I was blown away. Like, it is such, the branding on your website is so strong and impactful, and it's true to hype, mm-hmm. really. So can you talk to me a little bit about the process, maybe the process you went through in branding mm-hmm. for the Hype Society, but also maybe some advice for businesses and how they can really brand as well as you guys do.
So we went through an identical process to what we would take our clients through, from naming convention to customer research to competitor analysis, through brand platform design to identity development, to our core brand values, and then executed against that strategy. So yes, we wanted to be fresh, we wanted to be exciting, we wanted to be impactful, we wanted to be confident, and we wanted to stand out in a market that is very awash with competitors making claims.
Yeah.
So what you see on our brand, our colors, our typeface, our content is very deliberate to help the Hype Society back up the name, because the name is also quite confident in its approach.
Yeah.
So communicating that was important when creating and executing on our brand strategy.
Absolutely. And building that trust, because that's what came through to me, is just these guys are really confident in what they do. I want to dig a little bit deeper into who is Ryan Jenkins.
Sure.
And how did you come about?
Yeah. Not
from birth, clearly. But how did you get into this?
Well, I went through the same birthing journey as most other humans. So I grew up in Noble Park North. Back in the early to mid 80s, we moved from Noble Park North into Narre Warren. Mm-hmm. Back in those days, it was pretty much paddocks and a small shopping centre.
Yep. I
went to Fountain Gate Primary School from grade 2. I then went to Fountain Gate High School, and then I moved from the 7 to 10 campus to Hallam High. And we were part of one of the lowest ranked schools in Victoria for education outcomes, highest for crime and drugs. So it probably wasn't the school if you wanted to be an academic, but what it did teach me was resourcefulness, resilience, creativity. Yeah. And that's really where my entrepreneurship journey started. I was always working out, how to buy things and sell things to people, whether they'd be, some contraband substances. And no, I'm just joking. But yeah, that's where I started. I worked from the age of, 14 and 9 months to be able to earn an income, putting bikes together at the local bike store.
Wow. Yeah.
And then after I graduated year 12, I went on to work at Foot Locker in the retail scene for 3 years. Did really well. Yeah. Loved it. Loved the sales process. Loved the chasing of sales targets. Loved coaching, mentoring, and training people. I got to be a retail manager at a bunch of stores. And then from there, I went to work at Census at the white and yellow pages. Mm-hmm. Again, amazing experience with Census. They were growing rapidly and I also grew rapidly with that company. So I was very fortunate to move into leadership, sales training roles, and then into a sales director role. So that's sort of, from childhood to adulthood.
Right. And so when did you start in business for yourself?
I started in 2015, I think.
How did that come about?
Yeah, so I worked at a company called Easy Weddings, which was Australia's largest.
I'm a massive fan of Easy Weddings.
Yeah, the biggest wedding website in the country. So I headed up their sales, service, account management.
I may have spoken to you on the phone.
Maybe.
Seriously. Because I obviously and that was one thing I really loved about Easy Weddings was the sales, the customer service was second to none.
We had a great team.
Yeah, it
very
was
good.
It
very
was
good team.
Yeah, it was really good. So I stayed with Easy Weddings, I think 7 years when I ran my wedding photography business. But that's what I found is like I'd get regular calls, and it wasn't always about upgrading you to the next package. It was just seeing how you're going, talking about your business model, seeing how your business is growing, offering any kind of assistance. And it wasn't a hard sales push. No. It was
solution driven. Yeah.
Solution driven.
And ROI was a massive part of our communication strategy to our customers and helping them reverse engineer what we were delivering, how that then resulted in business outcomes, growth, not just through web traffic, but through phone calls and form submissions.
To be able to back it up as well, because when those numbers came to me, it's like, okay, how big do you want to grow your business? And I thought, I haven't really thought about that. And okay, well, how many clients do you need? And what would be a good sized business for you? Those sort of questions. And that vision, okay, building the vision, okay, and I kind of have somewhat of an understanding about sales, and then I kind of understand what was going on. But what I got was a genuine attitude from the sales, but they didn't even come across as a salesperson. They were just helpful people.
Well, part of the account management role was not to sell and to serve. So if there was opportunities that would come out of those interactions that would be solution focused, strategic focused, in line with the business outcomes.
Yeah, but then backing it up as well, and that would be something, because I would get most of 90% of my leads were coming from Easy Weddings, so I was really really happy with the results from there. But getting back to marketing and getting results as a marketing service. Yeah,
so that was really where I got my baseline understanding of digital marketing and the power. So helping customers with their digital strategy and lead generation from a directory would lead to other conversations, whether it be what's your social media marketing strategy, what's your Google AdWords strategy, how are you ranking your website organically. And I loved it. I loved being able to help them strategize how they were going to use digital marketing platforms to drive business outcomes. And that led me to start my first agency. A few years after that, I went and worked for an agency as well. So I then had experience in the digital marketing agency landscape, which was fantastic. So I went and worked at a company called Alchemy. So we predominantly played in the education and finance industries, and working with the likes of RMIT, Vic Super, and Careers Australia, some large brands that were using our marketing strategy to drive inbound enrollment and sales opportunities. So I was seeing the end-to-end process from how to develop the strategy to executing and enrolling or making a sale. So,
fantastic. And so business for yourself then evolved to...
So then I founded Digital Eagles, which was my first digital marketing agency. We were a digital marketing delivery mechanism, let's say. So customers or clients would come to us. I've got this amount of money. I want to drive this desired outcome. What do you recommend we do with this investment? And it will be up to us to then invest in a performance-focused way. The challenge was things like access to relevant content, access to a strategy, access to the smarts internally, because we were essentially a gun for hire. Pay us this much money, we'll deliver this service in line with your strategy and the content that you have available for us to execute on. And then the lessons that I learned from working within that organization then took me to the Hype Society, which is, all of those gaps are now filled with solutions for our clients.
Yeah. And so you're a co-founder. So
Yes.
Who is the other founder?
I have two other founders. Yeah, so my brother is one of our co-founders. So he's our sales and partnerships director. And then I have my other business partner who heads up all of our creative. So video, design, web, brand, and brand strategy.
Awesome. And so what are the biggest things you've kind of learnt in the process of going from a startup to where the Hype Society is now?
Being very focused on who and what your customer is, and really taking the time to delve deep into where their requirements are today, but also help them see what's available to them in the future. We do everything through a performance lens. So even when we're creating content, we make sure that it's aligned with brand first and foremost, but there's a specific strategy attached to how we're going to then take the brand transformation or the evolution, how that's going to affect their content strategy, but then how that then rolls into their performance marketing execution of that content.
Yeah, fantastic. And you have a venue. you have a what do you call it?
Office.
An office. Thank you. In Berwick that's being built. Is this public knowledge yet, or?
Yeah, it's pretty much public knowledge. Yeah. So we had this opportunity to take freehold of quite a decent space within Berwick. I've always been really passionate about the city of Casey. I grew up in the city of Casey, so I have a genuine, heartfelt connection with the business community. I support the community from a business and mentoring perspective.
Fantastic.
We also support a range of clients within the city of Casey region. So it just felt like the right place to call home.
Explain to me how that works, that support you're talking about with the different businesses around the city of Casey.
So the city of Casey provide a business mentoring program through their economic development department. And throughout the years, we've supported different initiatives, whether that be supporting founders in startup phase, or whether that be supporting business owners that have had their business for an undefined period of time but are looking to grow to the next level. So my role with some of those business owners is to help them see the forest from the trees and help them with a marketing strategy that's going to help them achieve their objectives if they feel like they have a challenge with their marketing. We support them, or I support them with that.
What does that mean to you on a dig into a deeper level? What does that mean to you to be able to obviously you've got the Hype Society, you've built that to this level. You're fitting out this office, and then you obviously move to there. No doubt that'll expand. All right. So let's say that scales to the level you want. That's all good and well, but what does this mean to you being able to help other businesses?
It means a lot to me because I did not find it easy, first of all, to start my own business. In fact, when I was starting the business, I was working, 14, 15, 16 hours a day for months and months and months to get to the point where it could even sustain me financially for me to quit my full-time job. And I made a huge amount of errors. So if I can help people even get access to some of those mistakes or things that I, would have done differently, next time, then hopefully, again, I can fast track or prevent them from making some of those things that will then enable them to get access to, a more sustainable business that then drives a lifestyle outcome that they're looking for.
And so what are some of those mistakes, just for the benefit of our listeners, what are some mistakes that you've made that they can avoid?
Growing too fast was probably one of the biggest things that I did in the early days. Is just growing for growth's sake, because that's what you think you need to do.
What kind of decisions will a company make if they're growing too fast? What does that look like?
It means that they don't have the right systems and processes in place to sustain that growth. So to contextualize, we grew from about sort of 900,000 in revenue to 3.1 million over a 12-month period. We grew from sort of 7 or 8 people to 22, 23. We did not have anywhere near the processes and systems in place to accommodate that growth. And then we racked up, debt that we could have prevented, which then put a lot of downstream pressure onto the business to service that debt level. And then we had to make some really difficult decisions around, downsizing to rebuild. So, that was one of the most, one of the biggest challenges that I found.
How could you grow fast though? Like,
sell a lot.
There's a danger in growing too fast, but in learning that, how would you do it differently?
We had too many customers or clients spending not enough money, first of all. So our persona was non-existent. It was just sell to make revenue. We had the greatest intentions in the world. Like, we had no misplaced intent to service our customers. It was just that we didn't know how to build a customer engagement strategy, how to build a CRM, how to build project management systems, how to build scalable reporting, how to create expectations, how to identify the right type of customer for what we were great at versus what we were not great at, how to identify the wrong customer and say, we're probably not a good fit for you, which all these things, play a part in, because it's squeaky wheel gets oil, and 80% of your great clients are only getting, 20% of your time, and 20% of your poor clients getting 80% of your time. So it's, it's the understanding of those customers and what you do as an organization and how those clients can fit in to get the most amount out of you, and how we can give the most amount back to them.
Wow. And how did you feel in that when that was, I'm guessing that may have gone somewhat pear-shaped, that experience?
So it was really stressful. The biggest thing for me was actually putting my hand up and saying that I don't actually have all the answers. So my solution to that problem was to find the most opposite person in the world to me. And if I hadn't have done that, I don't even think we would have made it past that next 6 months, because I'm not great at financial management. It's not a skill that I have. I don't like to do it. I'm not great at building systems. I'm not amazing at building processes. I'm really good at building a vision. I'm really good at selling. I'm good at leading people. I'm good at communicating. I'm good at strategizing. So it was about me reflecting on the things that I know that I'm great at and that I like to do. And then finding people, other people that are great at other things and they like to do, that can then come into the business to support where we are, which was in trouble, to then help us build a way out of that, out of that trouble.
And sometimes through these experiences that can be traumatic or just a really good learning curve, we develop our sense of values. Is there anything out of your experiences, not just that experience, but other experiences that you can see that has kind of shaped the values that you stand by?
I've always been a person that values integrity. It's probably my highest personal value, and it's one of our highest business values. at the same time. I think, being able to build trust and doing what you say you're going to do to the best of your ability when you plan on doing that is very important for me as a human, as a friend, as a father, but also as a business owner and a leader. And I think if I can continue to demonstrate that, then I can at least lead by example that's how people around me that I value will also engage with me. Yeah. Collaboration and doing things together is also one of our highest values. Communication, transparency are also, some of our major ones. Ego is also something that we try and minimize as much as possible, because when people are putting their egos before, the business and what we're trying to achieve, obviously that can halt, some of the other values that we have high up on our priority list.
I just forget what the person said to me, but it was something to do with that's right. That's what they said. You've got a strong culture when, not just when your people are talking about it, but when that's how your clients refer to you. So if, for example, you say that, integrity is important to us, collaboration is important to us, when your clients start saying, look, you guys just, you do what you say you're going to do, and they start feeding that back to you. Is that, would you agree that's a really good indicator for, well, that is actually really embedded in us, because even our clients see that?
So for a marketing company, you would expect that a marketing company would need to do marketing to grow, and we haven't had to. That's because we get so many of either our clients referring us more clients, or people just hearing about us through word of mouth, that we are the real deal. Right. Like, finding a marketing company is a huge challenge for businesses. And we fit fairly and squarely in the lowest of trust industries that there is. There's a lot of marketing companies out there that spruik, we can do X over Y.
Over promise, under deliver.
Guarantee this, guarantee that. And it's really difficult for businesses to find the right partner. So when we do get referred, and when we do bring clients in, like our churn rate would be well above industry standard. Like, we don't lose clients unless it's mutually beneficial to stop doing business together for whatever reason. And sometimes there's financial challenges, or the market, or something's happened internally. But very, very rarely will we get, a notice from a customer to say we're finishing off because the results are poor. And we do make sure that they come in with the right expectations created. We also, and I'll talk about the culture of the Hype Society, we pride ourselves on being a great place to work. We were certified by Great Places to Work last year, one of Australia's leading workplaces.
Awesome.
We took our whole team to the Gold Coast last year to thank them for their first year of contribution to our business. We haven't had anybody resign since we opened the doors.
Wow.
We are constantly reinforcing to the entire crew how much gratitude that we have for what they do for our clients and for our business. So we want to be a destination workplace, and we want to be able to take our team on a journey of what the Hype Society is aiming to achieve, and they're they love it, and
Look,
it's
congratulations. Congratulations on building that kind of culture and retaining staff talent like that. That is no small feat, especially in today's world. With especially young people changing positions more often than ever before. And I'd imagine with you being able to coming from where you've come from, with those mistakes you were talking about, and now being able to run the Hype Society as a destination workplace, the people that you are able to impart knowledge and experience and some strategy for in the city of Casey, that would be really valuable to them. And I have no doubt that you would have seen some success in the businesses that you've helped.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Not specifically to the city of Casey, but I'll highlight one of our major client wins from this last 2 years. So one of our clients is an energy retail company. They came to us on a very, very light retainer to test us out because they'd been, in partnerships with agencies before that had promised the world and delivered them an atlas.
Yep.
And so we started doing business, and we've helped them grow from about 15 or 16,000 customers to about 45,000, 50,000 customers over the last 18 months.
Wow.
In an energy crisis, in a time where there's a lot of questions about, the purchase of energy. We've taken them on a full brand evolution. So they've rebranded. We've helped them design and develop a new website. We've helped them with all of their content. We've built them a television commercial in partnership with Channel 7 and the AFL. So that's now live on air in Tasmania. Hopefully we then roll that into Victoria. So that, I suppose, just illustrates that you can come in anywhere with us and we'll build you a strategic growth plan right up to, a television, highly produced television commercial that's going to go on TV to help you get your brand out there into market. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's probably one of the ones that we've helped really turbocharge their growth over the last year and a half or so.
That's awesome. What I want to know is, personally, what stage of the process, or what moment is it that brings you the most satisfaction in what you do across business? Not necessarily just, you guys are obviously delivering really well, you're running a great company, but for you, are there moments where you pinch yourself and you kind of think, I actually get paid for this?
That's every day for me. It's every day, and there's not that much that I don't like to do. Even when client campaigns are underperforming, I will literally get up every morning, have a coffee, and reverse engineer how I can help the team improve that campaign, how we can arrest the downturn, create different ideas, sometimes really left field, ideas, and just not stopping until we crack the code. We've been working with a plumber recently. It's been hard. It's one of the most competitive spaces out there for Google AdWords, and we finally have turned the corner with that account. We were having daily pod meetings on that. Try this keyword. Let's reverse engineer this competitor. And then we're seeing now 5, 7, 8 phone calls a day, which is, back exactly towards the targets that we were trying to achieve. I love being able to mentor my team and help them think strategically and creatively about campaigns. I do it for free. I would honestly...
It kind of sounds like you're a bit of a business adrenaline junkie.
I love to reverse engineer success, and that's because I like the challenge, but I also enjoy the wins and the process along the way.
Yeah, right. So what advice would you give to people thinking about getting into business, or they're at the very, very early stage of getting into business? What
the advice I give when I first talk to a budding entrepreneur is, it's going to be 10 times harder than you think, minimum. And if you're not prepared to put in the work, both volume and on your growth journey and learning and accessing more information, more than you've ever accessed information before, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to give you much more pain and heartache than the reward. I totally underestimated business. Yeah. Like grossly underestimated it. It looks so romantic.
Yep.
My core reason for doing this was to be not controlled. I had a reasonably, not rebellious bone, but just let me do it my way.
Yes.
Because I know better. And I wanted to have the freedom, the flexibility.
Yeah.
I didn't mind making mistakes, but I wanted to just be able to have a crack. And I just felt really constricted in a lot of other roles that I had. I saw other ways to do things better, but I couldn't execute on those things because there was processes or business rules preventing me from doing so.
Yeah, right. So that's one piece of advice is be prepared to put in the hard yards.
Yep. Surround yourself with great people that have been there before you.
All right, so that's number 2.
Yep.
Surround yourself with great people.
Yep.
How are you doing that at the moment?
I always find someone that's at least 3 to 5 years ahead of me, whether that be in my industry or not. The ingredients need to be, service driven. They need to be aligned with my core values. But I want someone that's walked the path ahead of me, so they can give me the information that I give others.
Yep.
If they can prevent me from making mistakes and give me access to other people in their network that can also help, give me access to information, you'll be surprised at how much people are prepared to give you just because they want to help you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I.e., you coming into to be on my podcast.
Yep.
That's one thing. Now. I want to squeeze number 3 out of you.
So I would say the third one would be to understand how your business is either new, better, different. And the fourth one would be cheaper, which I don't recommend. So if you're going to do the same thing as someone else, then it's going to be very difficult to compete. So you've got to understand what's your unique proposition to market. Or you invent something new, similar to, what we were talking about around video podcasting. Nothing like that exists as a done for you service. Therefore it's unique. So that if there's interest for that particular service in market, that you can solve a very unique problem in a valuable way. So that's a really great example of how to bring an innovative new solution to a market that knows what video production is, but doesn't necessarily know how to do a professional video podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So Ryan, how can a company stand out in a very clouded and confusing market?
So we just spoke about being unique. Then it would also take a strategy to communicate your uniqueness to your prospective market.
Right.
So what I'm saying is have a strategy around what your customers want to see from you. The best way to find that out is to ask them. So we always go to our customers or our clients and ask them what they love about working with us. What are their key challenges? What could we do better? And if they were going to refer us to a friend or colleague, why? So we can then really understand what it is, because sometimes we think we're doing all these amazing things, but they don't care about those things. So it's about understanding, what it is that your customers love about you, and then using your marketing and communication strategy to amplify those specific things in market. There's a whole range of different ways to do that. So there's video content, there's blogs and articles to position yourself as an authority in market, there's interviews, there's events, there's a whole range of different ways to push that to market. In terms of direct response advertising, again, it comes down to your content strategy and your advertising strategy. If it is about price, then obviously lead with price. We're the cheapest because if it's not about price, we're the most valuable, we're the most unique, whatever that, direct message is.
How
that
do you
want
guys do that? Like, what is your strategy? Like, I don't want you to give away all of the secret sauce, but how do you get clients? I know referrals is a big thing for you guys because you offer such great service, but
we lead mission first. So I literally tell all of my client or even prospective clients in our first meeting what our vision is, what our mission is in a simplified version, what our values are, and then I ask them the same. And then we talk about value alignment, we talk about, connection, we talk about the things that we hold true, and we talk about what they expect to have with their partners. And then after that, we then talk about what their requirements are, why they're here, what they want to achieve, what their goals are.
In your experience, when you ask potential clients, what is their mission? Can they tell you straight off the bat?
No, they can't. And that's quite deliberate to show them that if you don't understand what you're trying to achieve, how are we supposed to interpret that and then communicate that to your customers? Because your prospective customers are going to connect with your brand and make a subliminal judgment on your business before they do anything. And it's all done within under a second. So our job is to take who you are, what you do, what you stand for, and start to then salt and pepper your customers subliminally with those messages through different creatives, through different advertisements to build confidence and trust that you're the right business that provides the solution that they're looking for.
Yeah, and so if they're a bit kind of shell-shocked when you say, well, what is your mission?
We help them with it.
You help them through that process. So already, and even before they come on as a client, they're also already getting great value from you guys because if you can help them, because it's so important, if you can help them with their mission, then they have a mission. They've got something to point back to in a lot of the decision making.
Totally.
So that in itself is value.
Yeah.
And then you bring the strategy into that. Then that's gold. That's awesome.
Yeah, and part of our brand process with clients is to review their mission, vision, and values, and then also their brand values. So to make sure that they are set up to communicate outwardly, because sometimes, well, a lot of businesses haven't done the work. Yeah. So they expect to be able to drive commercial marketing outcomes without having the foundations set up to achieve those. So we sometimes have to start from the ground up.
Yeah, because sometimes, like if you're in business and you're a technician in the business and you're working in the business, but you don't build that. Like you may grow, you may get some success because of whatever you offer is high value. You may get some success, and there's sometimes just not time for some strategies and to do things like build a mission and what are our values and things like that. Yeah. But to have that to kind of point back to and prioritize and see that filter through the company. Yeah. On the other side of that, you've got potential clients and customers that can align with that, because we've got the whole thrust of social impact and how important that is at the moment. Yeah. So I can align with a company when I know where they're going and what they stand for. Like, what do they stand for? Yes, they want to sell me something, but if they stand for something, I feel like when I purchase or when I partner, I'm supporting the thing that they stand for. So what is the most important business advice you've ever received?
It's probably not as a result of somebody sitting down and talking to me. I consume a lot of information through things like podcasts and following people that I respect and admire. And I think that it comes down to some really basic things, like putting the customer first, helping the business be aligned with your personal values, because if I'm trying to create a business that's not aligned with myself, then there's going to be disconnection at some point. Yeah. The third thing is really functional advice. So I mentioned earlier that I'm not great at finance. Now I force myself to be all over that, because without an engine with lots of fuel in it, the car can stall sometimes. So making sure that we're always really focused in three key areas, which obviously is revenue generation, making sure that our cash flow is secure, and that we have projections that can be relied upon, is probably the most functional value that I can give, because without that, it's just uncontrolled guesswork, and I think that's quite dangerous.
Yeah. Now, I know your time is precious and we are running out of time. I want to squeeze this one in. TikTok. We spoke about it before. Yeah. Explain to me the tsunami algorithm.
So TikTok is the only social media platform that is rapidly gathering information in multiple ways about its users. The first way is through your behavior. So how long you spend consuming specific types of content. They look at your eye movement, your rapid eye movement, how your head movement, how you're engaging, how you're liking, how you're commenting, how you're sharing, how you're communicating, even through your direct messages. Yeah. What a tsunami algorithm does is it's capturing all of this information like a wave, like a tsunami. Yeah. So they're capturing all of that information and then sucking it all in and then dumping it back onto you in the most relevant, engaging content possible. Yeah. Once they've got your habits, you use TikTok, you will see, and for people out there, you will see that this is the most relevant, hyper-focused, personalized content distribution platform by far in the world.
Oh yeah.
And it's incredible. It's interesting, but it's powerful.
It is very powerful. I've never seen anything as responsive.
Yeah.
Literally, it's training us to understand that if the more time we give to certain types of videos, the more it's going to show us. But it's doing that within a minute.
Yeah.
I'm teaching it. I know that if I, let's say I want to watch some comedy.
Yeah.
If I give comedy a little bit longer, a comedy video a little bit longer, even for maybe 3 choices that I make, within 30 seconds, it's just showing me a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
So I know that it's training me to a degree. But what I want to ask you about is, what does that mean for businesses when it comes to their marketing strategy, having a platform as powerful as TikTok?
It's still, in this day and age, the most underpriced attention available. So there's a few basics that you need to do. You can't just go and start slapping some ads onto TikTok because it won't work.
Yep.
It's a very organic platform. So you've got to have a content strategy.
Yep.
You've got to understand what your prospective customers want to see and engage in. If you do that, though, your reach and your brand awareness and the engagement in your brand will be significant. It may not necessarily respond with direct sales and inquiries, but it's a fantastic way to get underpriced attention on a platform now that will continue to serve your customers with your relatable content if you do the work to produce that content strategy. User-generated content is a fantastic way to do that.
Yes.
Having brand ambassadors and influencers is also another really good way to do that, because it's people talking about you, not you talking about your brand, and not just serving basic advertising material, but very, very powerful. We see a lot of our clients getting great outcomes by having a good video strategy.
It's because TikTok really prioritizes relevancy. Yeah. It's like, well, once you get that model right of what you stand for, and TikTok can see what you're all about, because your descriptions are on point. You're posting regular content. It knows you're giving value. You're being categorized correctly. Then it can go, well, we know what you're all about, and we know who to show you to. Yeah. So even obviously for brand awareness, it's great, but then it becomes targeted.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to also say that obviously TikTok is, from an age distribution, is towards the lower end of the spectrum. So younger people, 14, 15 to early 30s is their predominant demographic, where things like Facebook and Instagram has a more diverse age group that's available for targeting, like YouTube as well, very diverse age demographic. That's probably the downside. If your target customers aren't within that sort of 15 to 30, maybe not the platform for you. But the vast majority of clients that have, the vast majority of clients that have a target market would do well with the right content strategy on TikTok.
Awesome. So I've got to ask you before we go, and we've touched on it a little bit, but what is your game plan for good? What is your ultimate purpose in life and in business?
My game plan for good is to provide as much value as humanly possible for as many people as I possibly can. It sounds a little bit wishy-washy, but having the opportunity to talk to lots of business people, marketing people, on a regular basis, through events, through networking, through the Hype Society and our clients, through being able to mentor and manage and support my team, gives me access to impart lots of what I perceive to be value adding, adding value to their lives. And that's why I do what I do. So Yeah, that's
awesome. We're going to finish on that. Thank you so much for coming in. And this is episode number 3 with Ryan Jenkins. Thank you. I'm really appreciative.
Thank you.
No worries. Let's go Carlton.
Go Saints.
Thank you for watching Gameplan for Good. Stay connected with us on social media to discover more game-changing stories and gain valuable business insights. All of our episodes are recorded in our Assertive Media studio in Melbourne.